Hey, what's going on with it once again, ladies and gentlemen, fanboys and fangirls? Is the one and only, of course, Mr. Criticism Guy 2009, aka Nintendo Sony Free 2011, and of course, Nintendo Anime Manga Guy 360. So, before I begin, real quick, this is still my little mini series I'm going on with the Flesh Pound versus three other enemies now. I already did the Flesh Pound versus Venom, so check that video out if you haven't. I still have to do the Flesh Pound versus the Pyramid Head off Resident Evil. I still got to get more information off of the Pyramid Head, because I wasn't really a huge Resident Evil fan, unfortunately. It's an okay, decent game. I just never really got crazy into it. And as far as Silent Hill goes, I never really gave a shit about that game either. Sorry for about the Silent Hill fanboys that do still exist out there, possibly. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So the Flesh Pound this time is going up against old school classic 70s, 80s horror film bad guy named Jason, or Friday the 13th, or Michael Myers, whatever you want to call him. So without further ado, let's get started. So pretty much I'm going to keep going over the Flesh Pound shit, but I'm not going to get too much into it already. Obviously, I already told you about the origins. I'm going to lead you to the first link of this video that I did about Venom versus Flesh Pound, so I'm not going to even talk about the Flesh Pound at all. But I'll talk about his superpowers and his origins still. So if you didn't hear in the first video, this is the second video of me explaining what the Flesh Pound came from. He came from Killing Floor, from Tripwire Interactive. Really good Steam game company. If you're a PC fanboy, you know what I'm talking about. Gamer fan, if you want to call yourself that. Obviously his origin, once again, is from the Patriarch. He created him to be evil. He put a lot of hormones and a lot of steroids into the Flesh Pound when he was human, and after that, something terrible happened. A crazy accident happened. He had these big giant spikes as eyes and big giant meat rotator saw blades or whatever, so he can not just cut his enemies, but make them into giblets, kill humans, which is crazy as fuck if you think about it. So yeah, there's that. He ended up becoming really angry, and pretty much the rest is history. So yeah, obviously I'm going to talk about the Flesh Pound again. So obviously that's his origins there, and his attacks and defenses and offenses. Most of you people know his speed is good, and that's it. And his strength's pretty hardcore. He can move buses and trucks if he wanted to. And then his superpowers and everything, that's number 3 I want to talk about. Mutant powers, special weapons, abilities, attacks. The only 2 things that he has is the big giant spikes in his eyes. He can like headbutt people if he kills the stole soldiers. If you're playing Killing Floor, that. And there's that, and the big giant meat rotators. And that's pretty much all he has. Everything else he doesn't have as a weapon, so he's pretty much vulnerable to anything else. And he has this big giant like piece in his chest. When it turns red, he becomes rage, and when it's yellow, you don't have nothing to worry about because he's calm. So that's pretty much the whole gist about what the Flesh Pound's about. And that's pretty much all his powers, and his speed's really quick too. And let's talk about Jason, because I haven't talked about him yet. So Jason, obviously, is an old school like 70s, 80s villain. I remember that Freddy vs. Jason when they came out, I think early 2003, 2004 when it came out, a while back. A couple of years ago, because it's 2014 now, so it's about 9, 10, maybe 11 years ago. I don't know. But, excuse me, sorry about that. I had kind of a burrito for afternoon lunch. But yeah, other than that, what happened was that I think Jason, I'm not really sure about his background origin story, because I was never really into like horror films. Not because I'm scared or a pussy about it. I just never really gave a shit about horror films. They're kind of boring and redundant most of the time, even though nowadays, with a lot of CGI, we get that most of the time. So yeah, Jason, obviously, his signature moves, well, not signature moves, his origins I really don't know too much about, but kind of go in the same category as Michael Myers, if any people don't know who he is. I think maybe his mother was like a drug addict, like cocaine, heroin, whore, slut lady, or whatever, that didn't give a shit about her children. And I think she had a little brother and a sister that he always cared, and he cared for his little sister all the time. I'm not sure if his thing, Jason's story, is the same as Michael Myers. I'm not sure about that. But they almost had the same story. I think he came from like the lake or something. And I think his last name of Jason, I think is Westwood. I don't know, something like that. Vandervoos. I don't know. Some German, Russian last name. I don't know. But other than that, what happened was that came from the lake. I think he used to be a hockey player. That's why he used a hockey mask all the time. And I think one day he suffered from a terrible accident or something that made his face all ugly and deformed and everything like that. It's like I'm doing that John Cena thing. You can't see me. Yeah, but other than that, I'm not here to talk about wrestling. I'm here to talk about a horror movie guy, a legend in the making. And then after that, I guess he died, and years later, I guess he's always, ever since he's seen these little white suburban kids, no offense to Caucasian white people, I'm probably going to get this a lot. He saw these little rich, spoiled brat, white Caucasian kids Let me get my thing because I'm about to feel a cough coming on. And what happened is after that, let me get some more good shit. What happened is after that is what's even a little bit crazier. Like every summer, I guess in the 70s, 80s, 90s eras, like he would see these kids or whatever had a lot of money. They would like spend their time in the woods and the forest, and they would go out camping. And then one day, like not Michael Myers, Jason, he would just come in and stab and slice and kill people when they're sleeping or when they're running away from him in a panic. He would just slice them with his big giant blade or his hockey puck or whatever, and either cut their heads or cut their bodies in pieces or some shit. Sounds like some serial killer murderer motherfucker, but this is just a movie. This isn't real life. Unfortunately, sadly, this does happen in real life. It just doesn't happen with movie horror film guys. It happens with real criminals out there, unfortunately. But other than that, that's not about reality. This is fantasy now. And the thing about Jason. So I get Jason and Michael Myers from some reason. I always get those two mixed up. So I know Michael Myers is just big and tall. He has a different mask. He doesn't have a hockey mask. He has like a butcher blade. He doesn't have like the giant hockey puck or the giant sword thing, machete thing, whatever. But other than that, another crazy thing about Michael Myers is that like, not Michael Myers, Jason. I keep mixing that shit up. I don't know why. Is that Jason, he's very invulnerable to attacks. And if you even try to shoot or kill him, he'll still keep walking. He's pretty much The Walking Dead on steroids. That's what he is. No offense to The Walking Dead thing. I love that show. It's awesome as fuck. The game PC is decent. I'm not crazy about it, but I like the show a little bit better on AMC or on Netflix, wherever you watch it at, or Hulu, wherever the fuck you stream it from. But I will say this shit. The thing that makes him lacking is speed is very slow, so it makes him very vulnerable to everything. I got over his origins. Let's talk about his attack and special attack. His attack's pretty decent, you know. Special attack is hardcore when he talks about strength. And his ability, unfortunately, to think his intellectual shit is very stupid and dumb. But the thing is, like, the more you panic, I guess he feeds off of fear. And his defense, his special defense, I can't really talk about that because I never really watched too many of the movies of Jason. But I watched 1 or 2 of them and know a little bit about him, just a tad bit. And pretty much his specialty is cutting people in half and cutting their heads off, especially women. For some reason, he likes to kill women more than he does men for some reason. I don't know. Could be a sexist. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, just my opinion. Might be sexist. So there's that. And the other thing about him is that he always wears a hockey mask. Sometimes I think he's like the dude off Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Once in a while he might use like a... I forgot what the names was called. It was one thing where he goes... Like not a saw blade, but chainsaw. Sometimes he uses a chainsaw too. Once in a while, but mostly uses either the hockey puck thing or the blade. That's it. Or the machete, whatever you want to say it. So that's pretty much it on his superpowers. He doesn't have any mutant powers or anything like that. He just has his weapon, obviously, his machete thing, his blade machete, his hockey puck stick, or his once in a while his chainsaw. That's it. That's pretty much he has his weapons. Because he doesn't have superpowers. Only superpower I guess he would have is waking back up from the dead every summer in a lake. That's pretty much it. Rise from the dead. That's pretty much it. But other than that, it's pretty much just his special attack abilities and his weapons. That's it. He's got going for him. So Flesh Pound versus Jason. The way I see it, Flesh Pound is like 10, 11 feet, maybe centimeters taller, inches taller than Jason. So stat-wise, strength-wise, I think the Flesh Pound, he has a little bit of a better advantage over Jason. But the thing with Jason is he's able to take a lot of hits and attacks. No matter how many times you shoot him, you stab him, he'll slice him, he keeps coming back stronger. So that's the thing that the Flesh Pound will have to worry about if he had to fight Jason. That's all I'm saying. But the thing with the Flesh Pound makes him more overpowered. He's got these big giant meat rotators and the big spikes that come out of his head whenever he headbutts you and shit. And he charges very fast. He goes a lot faster. So in a way, if I had to say who's going to be the victor, unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to put this a tie. Popularity-wise, unfortunately, Jason wins over the Flesh Pound. I'm just saying. Video game logic-wise, Flesh Pound wins, obviously. Because I don't think they ever made a... They might have made a Freddy Krueger game and a Michael Myers game. I don't think they ever made a Jason game. Maybe they did in Sega Genesis back in the day. I don't know. I wasn't really informed about that information back then. But yeah, this will probably be a tie due to the fact that he's able to take so many hits that he can never dive. So no matter how many times the Flesh Pound would hit him with those big giant meat rotators and the big spikes in his head, no matter how many times he hits him, Jason's still going to keep walking to try to stab him or slice him with his chainsaw or his hockey puck thing, you know. So this is why it would be a tie. Neither of them will be able to win. They'll be both tired out by the time they try to finally put the final blows into place. And yeah, unfortunately, this is a tie. Even though the Flesh Pound has a little bit more strength, the only way the Flesh Pound will kill Jason if he slices his meat rotators with his heart, or he puts his meat rotators in his head and kills his brain. That's pretty much the only way that the Flesh Pound will be able to win over Jason. Other than that, this is a tie. I'm sorry. My hands are tied, literally. Tied. But yeah, pretty much other than that, that's all I'd say about this versus thing. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Jason versus the Flesh Pound. Tie game. Sorry if you guys didn't like that outcome, but video game wise, Flesh Pound wins. That's it. But physical strength wise, when they both collide, they're a tie. But like I always do say, is what it is, ain't what it ain't. See you when I see you guys. Have a good day, have a good night, wherever you're at around the world. Don't drink and smoke weed at the same time. Don't do anything reckless. See you soon. See you around. Peace out, ladies. Goodbye, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Alright, deuces. I'm out. And take it easy, everyone. Peace. And be on the lookout for Flesh Pound versus Pyramid Head. Later.